Week on What's Your Story? We embark on a journey through Nairobi street kitchen, uncovering the hidden gem that offers an enchanting space for foodie and photography enthusiasts. The scenic environment is meticulously adorned to seize the moment and resonate with customers. Nairobi Street Kitchen was conceived by Alyssa and Alyana. Initially envisioned as a casual hangout spot with food trucks, the duo's vision evolved during the design and construction phase, blossoming into a restaurant. Here, patrons are treated to a culinary voyage spanning international cuisines. From Desi Loco, a homage to India's famed street food vendors, Indian dishes to savory pastas inspired by Mexico. Si Senor, bringing the magic of old Mexico to Nairobi. Buttered buns made from scratch, served with love. Fire and Dough offers hand-tossed artisan pizzas cooked right in front of you. In the open kitchen, Bird Exchange offers fresh, locally sourced ingredients, a global chicken menu, and delectable sides. Bird Exchange is the perfect spot for a quick, delicious weeknight dinner, afternoon delight, or a satisfying late-night craving, all the way to Hopscotch, the one-stop shop for the child in you. It's a dessert bar that offers guests a moment of delightful escapism amongst many other joints within NSK. Adorned with captivating artwork from various artists, Nairobi Street Kitchen serves as a canvas where art comes alive. Embracing the notion that art is subjective, the sisters provided space and inspiration for artists to express their emotions and creativity through this innovative space. Nairobi Street Kitchen is renowned for its commitment to recycling, giving discarded materials a second chance, and lending the space a rustic and aesthetic appeal. Beyond this, Nairobi Street Kitchen has also played host to esteemed guests, including King Charles, during his visit to the country, and Kenya's former president, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta. It has swiftly become a preferred venue for hosting events, adding to its allure. Stepping into Nairobi Street Kitchen, one is transported to the bustling streets, all whilst enjoying breathtaking views of the surroundings. Join us as we embark on a tour with the two sisters, delving deeper into the delights that Nairobi Street Kitchen has to offer. Welcome to the show. It's What's Your Story, a part 2, a continuation of a story we started last week of the founding of the Nairobi Street Kitchen here in Westlands. We had a conversation with the two sisters, the brains behind this brand. That's Miss Alyana Popat and Miss Alyssa Popat. So now, today we tell the actual story. From last week, this is some of the highlights that they talked about, what went into the creation of this innovation. Take a look. Growing up, what was that like?
I've always wanted to do architecture, but I think I was a little bit afraid.
And your parents supported you in that decision?
I think in the beginning they were a little bit shocked because they were like, but you know, it's business. Like, you need to know.
Was more inclined towards, I guess, the business side of things. Yes. And the numbers.
When there's family conflict, what's the mechanism around solving that?
Right now, we just talk as a family. We sit, we spill, basically.
So even if you fight, fight. If you need to get physical, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you come out of that situation, you are united.
What are some of the values your parents instilled in you growing up?
I think the way that they raised us as children is that the world is so much bigger than we are.
Because hard work never killed anyone. I don't necessarily 100% agree with that, because it probably has.
Right, so we get to see it. So it's one thing to hear it, it's another thing to see it, so that you're able to best appreciate exactly what this is. And remember what I said to you last week, it's the first of its kind in Africa. The idea was not all of what you're about to see. It was just gonna be very basic trucks, food trucks, but then as they started to create, they wanted to expand, enlarge into what we are about to see tonight. So it's the story of the Nairobi Street Kitchen as created and innovated by Miss Alyana and Miss Alyssa, whom we get to meet. Yes, so we finally get to see your feet. You know, I needed for this to be seen.
Yeah, fair enough.
And we all know where this came from. Yeah, it's a secret.
No, we're happy to share. Oh,
She's like-
I was going to tell you the brand, where it came from.
Yeah, that too. So anyway, so we're here, and so tonight's show, I just want us to like just go through what you did here, as a family. And by the way, the king was here. So where'd he go?
So he walked in from that side, basically walked through here.
Yeah.
And then walked upstairs, and then the British Council had an event upstairs. So he was there for, I think, about almost 20 minutes. It was very short. And then he came down, as in I came with him downstairs.
Right.
Went up to Desi Loco, the Indian concept, Indian street food.
Okay.
He interacted with the chefs a little bit. It was a very quick visit, but...
what did that feel like, Alyssa?
I was not here, actually,
come
at that time.
Why?
So
Where were you?
This was all Alyana. I was traveling at that time.
Okay.
But Alyana,
But you must have
very
felt
well.
really,
Yeah, it was great. I mean, they had been planning it for like, I think, over a month.
Okay.
So we were doing runs over and over and over again.
Oh, that was important, eh?
Yeah, I mean, we had to do it quite a lot actually. With the whole, there was so many different teams that were involved. Like it was very well sort of planned and organized.
Yes.
But nothing plans you for the day he actually comes, because you'd think that he comes, he does. We go step by step of what he's going to do. But again, he's a person, right?
Yes.
He's curious, so he now stops somewhere else, and then he engages with someone else, and then. So the whole process was a little bit shorter, but hey, at the end of the day, like it's great to have someone like that in this space.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good for us.
Yeah.
But it's also good for him to see what people at this part of the world are doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was
So
important.
this is why he came, Desi Loco, Indian street food.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me what went behind this.
So as you notice, as you walk around the building, there's lots of vehicles that you see all around. Yes. So this actually is a 1960s Leyland bus that actually used to be a passenger vehicle in Nairobi back in the day. And so I actually randomly, luckily found this. Initially, it was supposed to be a train. A train carriage. And so we were working very closely with the railways, and they were offering us a train on one condition. We were to bring it up to its existing or its original standard, which would have been a massive cost to us.
Yeah.
And so we kind of had to rethink the plan and be like, okay, we can't actually bring a train in here. What other options do we have? And I was actually, one of my furniture suppliers, he's in an industrial area, and I just happened to be there looking at some stuff one day. And me being the nosy person that I am, I started walking around and just checking, looking at what they had and all these things. And I found this massive thing in the corner that was covered by a top. And so I just decided to pull the top of it. What is this? And it turned out it was this bus that we had just found. So we actually decided to go with the bus theme instead. We brought it in through the main door, had to break some walls to get it in, and then we basically increased the size. And what we did was we wanted to kind of create an interactive eating experience.
Right.
So it's actually half kitchen and half seating on the inside. And so what we did actually was we reused the old bus seats, just reupholstered them. They look beautiful. The curtains are old saris that we basically cut up to create curtains.
Okay.
And then all the lights are actually old tiffin boxes that we basically procured in a market in India and brought them back and just basically made lights. Yeah.
Wow. So you are creating on the go.
Yeah. So whatever was there, it was kind of like each thing at each time was kind of created. And then the bus was painted by a Colombian artist, actually, who was living in Kenya for a period of time. She's a nomad artist. And she actually painted the bus in like 2 weeks and then moved on to her next country.
This is so creative.
Yeah.
So Desi Loco, what does that mean?
Desi is
Desi
another
is like
word for
Indian.
Yeah, Indian.
Okay.
And then loco means two things. Loco in Spanish means crazy, but it's also loco in terms of like locomotive.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
locomotive. So yeah, to signify the whole bus idea. And so when you named it street kitchen, because actually when I stand here and also upstairs where we'll get to show our audience, it's literally like streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't notice that
Exactly.
until last week, by the way.
Yeah.
Someone said, just stand along there. I said, what street? I'm just at Nairobi.
Yeah.
Then it hit me. Okay.
Nairobi
Like the
street
lights and
kitchen.
everything is
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So where do we move to next? What do you want us to see next?
Should we go straight?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let's go straight.
Let's go. Okay, and what do we have here? Art. I remember you talked about lots of art. And
this is an artist called Manzame, and he basically, as you can see, kind of what I was saying about the inspiration of NSK. So he basically came, spent some time here, and started photographing different elements of the building.
Okay.
And then created postcard stamps to reflect his art. So if you notice, you can see the doors on the left, you can see the cassettes, the bus. We have the tiles that are on the floor out there. And yeah, sorts of different things. This was actually one of the chairs that we have. That he basically redrew it out into.
These are chairs?
Yeah.
How? Are they here?
Yes.
We'll get to see them.
I'll show them.
Okay.
It's actually a lady that's kind of bent backwards in a. I'm not sure what you call that in yoga. Back stand?
No.
It's a yoga pose.
When you go on the way back? No.
I think I have it. It'll come.
Not
It'll
coming
come.
now.
It'll come.
It's not
Yeah.
coming now. Okay, but this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So do like people stand here and just get to appreciate this?
Actually, you get a lot of photos here.
Yeah.
This is a really good photo spot. So people kind of sit here and like take a photo.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
it looks like that. It looks like that. Okay. And hopscotch. That
Yes.
sounds like that game we played when
is.
growing up.
When you were kids. Yeah.
That's the concept behind it.
That's
Basically.
the concept behind it.
Okay, and what happens there? Hopscotch.
It's a dessert concept, actually.
Oh,
Yes.
dessert. You're a sweet tooth, eh?
Yes.
You were
Not so much the sweet. I'm more of a savory tooth, if there's such a thing.
No, it's
I think that's just general.
It's either or. It's either
Yeah,
you're
I'm not the
deep
biggest
in-
sweet tooth, no.
No. Okay, but then we have. Actually, let's come in here. Why not?
This is basically an old VW combi that we basically modified to be this kind of very fun concept, which is called Hopscotch.
Okay.
Alyana can explain a bit more about the menu.
Yeah, so we wanted to, actually the whole concept behind it was to do some interesting desserts, something out of the blue. And we're constantly trying to change it. Actually, we're about to change the menu very soon.
Okay.
But yeah, it's right now we're offering obviously lots of different kinds of ice cream sandwiches that are in cookies, and then egg waffles. Egg waffles are basically like an waffle that looks like small sort of eggs, I guess.
Okay.
I'll show you at some point.
Yeah.
And you can basically put any ice cream you want, any toppings you want. So it's sort of like, it takes you back to your childhood. It's colorful, it's fun, and that's where
messy.
Hopscotch sort of aligns with it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's messy, it's fun, and that's what we want. We wanted to transport people back to when they were younger and when sugar and carbs and nothing mattered.
Yeah,
So,
nothing else, no calorie counting.
No
and
calorie
so on.
counting here,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Yeah.
And then you're done with this and you go to do your
And then you
planks and pilates and
you go do your workouts basically, if you want.
yeah.
And so this art was done by an artist called Kalas, and he's a graffiti artist, and he basically designed the look and feel of this to make it very childlike, to bring you
Return
back.
to Earth.
Yeah,
It's like some spaceship something.
exactly.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Ah.
So you are to enter there, and something
Go back
happens.
to your childhood basically.
And when I see lemongrass, I'm like, ginger lemongrass, like, is that ice cream?
Ice cream
Ice
flavor.
cream, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we try to be a little bit like different with the flavors. We can try something that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you found this here still in Nairobi.
Yes, I did.
Guys, genius, the stuff of genius. Where are we going to next? I feel like I need to eat something now.
Okay, let's get you a
Si, senor.
snack.
Where is Si Senor? So this is Latina. Is this where I get to eat?
This is
This
where
is the
you
one.
can definitely eat.
Okay.
What are you feeling?
Mexican, eh? How do you pronounce this, by the way?
Frijoles y maíz.
You know
We're
know
not
the language.
Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
Spanish.
We're,
It's
I mean,
similar.
we speak Portuguese, but like we can speak a bit of Spanish.
Yeah?
Yes, yeah.
Hey, you speak. Oh, yeah, you were born
Yeah.
there. So I'll have this one. How do you pronounce that?
Barbacoa.
Is it nice?
Barbacoa.
Barbacoa.
Lamb. It's lamb.
Okay, lamb. Great, let's have it. But first, tell me the concept before we go to eat.
Yeah, so it's Mexican street food. We realized that I think in Kenya there wasn't a big focus on Mexican, and if you look at the ingredients that Mexicans use, it's very aligned to what
Yeah.
Kenyans eat. Rice, I guess chapati, but
Yeah.
tortilla,
But maize.
meat, chicken is a big one, fish. So and maize exactly. So very ingredients are super aligned basically to Kenyans, and we're like, why not do a concept with Mexican street food? I think Mexican food is one of the best food in the world.
And
Basically. It's
one
very,
thing that we
very
do
flavorful.
here is we make every single thing from scratch. So we actually go through the entire process of making our own taco as well.
Yeah.
So we get the corn and we go through the entire process to make our own taco, which is a corn taco.
Salivating already. And these are still containers, eh?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
Mabati container. Hi.
Yes.
What was I having?
Lamb barbacoa.
That one.
It's okay, obviously we speak on the other side.
Okay, there's a process. So this is where I'm greeted.
This is where you
and of course
order.
I
You
pay.
make your order.
Okay.
Then this
We
is
got
where
you. We got you today.
You got me.
us.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we pick this up. Oh, okay. The detail, the detail. What is this?
So
I'll let the chef talk. Why not?
Yes, chef.
it's a traditional taco.
Uh-huh.
Its filling is from slow cooked lamb, and we toppings with garnish with cumin yogurt, fruits from pomegranate, and fresh meat to give a lamb barbacoa taco.
Let me
Get you a
just,
napkin.
let me tell you, my hands are clean, eh? But it's still, the napkin.
I'm on it.
So I'm seeing, you said this pomegranate. How do you pronounce a pomegranate?
Pomegranate.
Yeah, that one.
Pomegranate.
I'm about to make a mess of myself.
It's a very nutritious food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Here, take that. You need that. Most of our food is supposed to be eaten like in a messy way.
Use your
You have
hands
to
to
use your
eat.
hands,
It's
yeah.
all hand finger foods.
Let me carry it with me. Thank you. Another truck.
Yeah, so
What happens
this is
here?
basically another VW combi. That's basically our margarita bar. So if you're ever feeling like a margarita during your day, this is where you'll get it from. So again, we reupholstered the seats, kind of left it in its existing form, and then we worked with an artist called Wise2, and Wise2 is very much heavily influenced by Mexican art, and he spends a lot of time in Mexico as well. And so this basically was his version of his Mexican feel of his art.
Yeah, it actually does feel Mexican, being in this space, like
Yeah.
just being here. So you get your margarita and move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. It's too early to have a margarita anyway.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's happy hour somewhere.
Look who's
Yeah.
talking. The health nut is asking,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Is it?
I'm not having it. You are. So.
Okay. Oh, tell me about this store.
Yeah, so we wanted to add more retail to the space. So it actually didn't start like this. We've added as we operate, as we go along. So we got connected to Wildlife Works, and we basically said, would you like a space? And they were keen, and they actually turned this container into something that was more aligned with their brand.
What do they do?
Yeah, so they work with lots of, it says here wildlife forest community, but they work with lots of women and local women and men who obviously make a lot of these products. And so I think it's more like a social enterprise, basically. So they support a lot of artisans, like local artisans, and like, empower them and give them jobs, which obviously at the end of the day empowers a community. But they offer lots of different products, as you can see, baskets, jewelry, clothing.
Mats.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
nice stuff, actually.
So they're aligned to your values as well. When I hear
Exactly.
community,
Exactly.
and I remember what Alyssa said
Yes.
last week
Yes.
about just being out there for the community, and they do
Yeah.
the same. So it's value aligned, eh?
Actually, all the retail brands we have in-house are aligned to what we believe in. That's important. Yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
Millicent, hold this for me. I'll not be able to concentrate as I'm eating. You all know Millicent by now. Okay, I like this.
Yeah.
So restaurants and then
Retail.
retail.
Yes.
And it's not the only one.
No,
So how many such do you have here?
So we have two brands there outside. We have another brand there. We have Arai on the side over here. We have Wildlife Works. And then we have something actually very interesting. We brought in Man Cave, that are a barber shop.
Oh, okay.
Because we like, let's mix things up a little bit. Let people be able to come, have a shave, have a haircut, grab a drink, grab some food. So, yeah.
So everything all
very cool
inclusive.
brand as
very,
well.
Very,
Yeah.
cool. Very, very cool. Okay, cool. So where are we going?
Library 68.
Library 68.
Yes. So
Library 68.
68.
Okay.
1968 was the year that our company was Yeah.
So we sort of
So
let's
you paid
incorporate that
homage
somehow.
to-
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just want to sit. At this point, this tour has has
Let me
me
just bring the
tired.
wines.
Oh, you're bringing the wines. Gee. Okay, so where do you want to sit?
You can sit here if you
No,
want.
actually, I want to stand.
Okay.
You sit here.
How can I sit if you're not?
Okay, it's actually your brand. It's branded
It's,
Nairobi Street
so it's
Kitchen.
the brand that was designed for Nairobi Street Kitchen as its house wine.
Oh, house wine. Tell us about it. You actually talked about it, I think.
Yeah, so I import wine from Portugal and Italy, and we decided let's do our own label. So I spoke to one of my suppliers, and I was like, "Can you do a label for me?" So I actually went to the vineyard in Portugal, and I don't know if you remember, but we actually tasted the wine with the owner, and we actually mixed two different wines to come up with an ideal wine. And this was what it was, basically. And then my cousin, actually, who's a creative as well, she designed the logo for us, the label for us.
Yeah, this whole
so
design.
this is basically, yes, it's
Westlands.
this is what Nairobi, this is Westlands, and the splash is where we
Really?
are here at NSK.
Where there's a yellow.
Well, that
Oh,
one's
that-
yellow and this one's purple, I believe. Yeah.
Like the detail, the detail.
Yeah, so this is our house wine. It's a blend of red and a blend of white from Portugal, from the south actually, and it's pretty good wine actually. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not a wine, do you call them
Connoisseur.
That one, that's the word. You said the word. I'm not one, but I can only imagine. Okay, well done.
But you drink wine, right?
My first time tasting wine was last year, September.
Wow.
No way. Did you
Yeah.
enjoy it?
I didn't mind it. I just really slept so well that night. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm late. I haven't tried it again.
Well, we'll give you this one, and then you can
Like for real.
maybe sleep well again soon.
Try it for the second
Like I'll
time.
just black out. I don't need chamomile tea
Yeah.
after this.
No, you
Oh
don't.
man, thanks. Bitola. So what does Bitola mean?
It's just a brand that they had come up with, basically. It's my supplier's brand. So we kept their brand and we put ours on top. So
Yo.
it's like a dual label,
Okay,
basically.
I get that.
Dual brand.
And I love the
Yeah.
color, orange. So
Yeah.
even this must have a reason why it's orange. Because here, I mean, if the label has the map of Nairobi.
We picked the colors. We wanted
Like
we
complementary
wanted them to be
colours, yeah.
different, and we thought orange goes very well with the red bottle, and the blue really pops out on the white bottle. So
It does.
Yeah.
It actually does.
Yeah.
Okay. And the barrels, you spoke about this, I remember.
Yeah, so these are basically recycled. So as a part of our motor industry, we have lots of barrels that are sitting around. And so we basically recycled them, just painted them. You can still see some of them have the dents on them as well.
Yeah.
We decided to keep because that's its character. And then all of the tops are all reclaimed wood.
Reclaimed. Repurposed, reclaimed. Tell me
Repurposed,
about the
reclaimed.
design here.
So Library 68 is a Portuguese wine bar. And so we wanted to be inspired by Portugal. So if you notice on the counter, we basically used the Portuguese tiles. So that came from Portugal, which are very traditional to...
The blue, eh?
Exactly.
These
yes.
tiles,
These
yes.
are all hand-painted tiles.
Okay.
And then we basically used recycled bottles. So as NSK, we go through a lot of bottles in a week. And so we decided to now reuse our bottles. So actually the top half is for the light, and the bottom half we actually use for glasses. And so you notice that wherever you have your little napkins, those are basically all the bottoms of the bottles.
You guys, man. And to just imagine that you just like, it just flowed. It used to come as it goes, eh? I just love it. I love it. And the tour is not even over.
No,
so where
it's
are we
not.
going to next?
We're gonna go outside now.
Oh, we are going outside?
Yes.
Okay. Lead the way. Lead the way.
Let's go this way.
We're taking a quick short commercial break. What's your story? We'll be back in a bit. Your story, a journey through Nairobi Street Kitchen with the founders and innovators, Alyana and Alyssa Popat. Okay, so tell me, because I see now, I'm starting to see the street concept
Yes,
literally
the
come to light,
lights.
even outside. We saw it inside, now we are here outside, and it's unending. What's going on in the street, actually? That's the question. That should be the question.
Yeah, so we, like I mentioned earlier, we have retail brands that we work with.
Yeah.
We brought in to hire out the spaces. But we wanted to be a bit different with one of the containers. So we asked Man Cave,
Yeah.
which I'm sure a lot of people know. It's a barber shop that
Yes.
has, I think, quite a few locations around Nairobi.
Okay.
So they've come in and they've literally taken a small little container, and you can basically do a shave, have a cut, do a little bit of grooming, and then come out, have a drink. So
Have lunch.
it's a nice complement to the space, I
I
believe.
love it. I love it.
And then, yeah, like I said, we're working with a lot of Kenyan-made brands.
Yes.
And this is Urban Yags. They have, they sell a whole bunch of products, as you can see.
Yeah.
Beautiful bags, baskets, lots of Kenyan, like jewelry inside as well.
Yeah.
And then as you go down the street, we have our burger concept and then some more retail on the other end as well.
So how long did it take to just line up these containers? I'm still back to the design concept.
I'll let Alyssa
You know what I mean?
In terms of the containers, basically, we had to plan it in phases. So we basically actually started with the containers and
Yeah.
placing them. And then we went into the vehicles. So we just basically had two small, those lifting things, and we basically was,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
As manual as that?
yeah.
This is a labor of love.
Yeah.
And
Because we
no
can't
other
fit it,
way
we
to
couldn't
say
fit a
it.
crane
Yeah.
inside the
Yeah.
inside
In here.
the building.
And then something else I love, by the way, which could maybe get lost, is the plants, like the green.
Yeah.
It's green.
Yeah.
It's not just,
Yeah.
all metal and wood.
Yeah, we had to put a lot of green in here
Yeah.
to balance out basically the metal, the wood.
Yeah. I love this space a lot. This is my favorite space because I can come hide here and no one will look for me and I'll sit there and
Yeah, you can actually work from here. We're trying to
Yeah.
encourage that. People come with their laptop.
Right.
We have Wi-Fi. All the food is available. So
Imagine.
come work. And the weather in Kenya, Nairobi, is amazing.
Perfect.
So it's
And so this is basically buttered buns, which is our burger concept.
hold
and
on,
so,
I have to just like fulfill. Do
Yeah.
people sit here?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, okay,
and so
great.
that's actually what it's designed to be. So this is basically an architecture called a Hertzberger step, which basically means a large step. So it serves two purpose. It serves for
Show me.
walking, and then it also serves for sitting and eating your
burger.
burger.
And the people sit like that.
Yeah.
It's
So you actually get people
funky.
having a drink, sitting, working, doing their
chilling
computer.
and feeling like this is the life I was created for.
Yeah.
So buttered buns, so burgers.
Yes. And so our
Gluten
buns are,
free.
yeah, exactly. Our buns are gluten free, so
So-
they don't make you feel really heavy.
Bloated and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can talk about the
the cassettes,
Cassettes.
finally, eh?
maybe from this front side. So this is basically the cassette wall. So actually none of these were bought. They were actually all gifted or donated to us. So we just sent messages out to all the grannies in Nairobi and basically said, please send us in your cassettes.
Yeah.
And so it actually turns out that nobody uses them anymore. Like they're kind of
Yeah.
been removed from our history, but they're still there. And I think that they're a very nostalgic piece.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to bring back a little bit of the nostalgia because it was also during my childhood. Like I used to listen to cassettes.
Yeah.
And so, these all came. And if you notice, there's a hidden pattern that we decided to put in between. But it's very subtle.
Okay.
So let's see if you can actually notice a pattern.
Yes, I can.
You can?
So this, what do you call that shape?
Diamond.
That
Yeah.
one. There's like 1, 2, 3.5.
Exactly.
I got it. Okay.
You notice it?
Yeah,
The
I
crosses?
see it. I see it.
Yeah.
I just saw one line, then I'm like, okay, there must be others. So yes, even that. So the
Even that.
detail and
Yeah.
this.
Even those are all like recycled pipes as well.
I get that.
Yeah.
So we're going upstairs. So there's
Yes.
more. There's upstairs.
There's more. But I actually wanted us to take my favorite way up.
which is the lift.
Yeah.
Can we? Yeah.
Yeah. And so we basically decided to design an elevator that would fit the space. Now in Portugal, we have elevators like this all the time, but they're now being phased out because they're no longer safe. So this is the modernized version of the new opening door. That basically has, the old school
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have the chain. So this is basically
This is that.
the new version of that.
You guys.
So the door will close and we'll go up.
Oh, so it's a double like.
Yeah. And then basically to open the door, you just
then-
push it open.
And no one can ever get stuck in here, no?
No.
Oh, here we are.
Yeah.
So
And
tell
this
me
is
again about the elevator.
So basically, this is an old school elevator that's a modernized version of the old school elevator. So it allows you to basically open the door yourself.
Yeah.
And then it basically shuts and it closes.
Everything has to be classy. Yeah, this is now the street lights.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is where the parties happen, no?
Social rooftop bar. So actually, one of my little art features that I did myself. So I mentioned I have 4 dogs.
Yes.
And so they were actually very heavily involved in this project.
I remember Ghost.
Yes. And so actually, Ghost and Apollo did their own artwork.
These are dog pose.
Myself, Ghost, and Apollo. So that's my foot. And then this is their paws. And so they walk this entire strip as it is the street.
Oh man, so it's complete. When we say family, it's family.
It's a family.
Total family
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
all the family.
Yeah. And the drums. Do you
Exactly.
call them drums?
Oil drums, exactly. Again,
I love
all
the
reclaimed
nails
wood
here.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was waiting for the crew this morning, I saw on the screens you have downstairs
Yeah.
of the special nights you have here.
We host private events. We've had weddings here. We've had conferences here. We've had exhibitions here.
Yeah.
We do our own events. So we have club nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've actually had people work out in this space as well. We've had gyms come in and do workouts.
Oh.
So it's a very versatile space.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so Wednesdays upstairs it's not. Wednesdays upstairs is nothing, but downstairs we have an NSK Jazz Club that we've just launched, and so every single Wednesday there will be jazz playing downstairs.
I
which
love
is a
that.
really
That's
nice
my kind of
vibe.
night, Wednesday.
Yeah. Thursday we have salsa downstairs, and then a club night upstairs that goes on till 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
if you want to party on
Nairobians
Thursday.
don't want to sleep.
Nairobi
eh?
doesn't stop, so we all know that.
Uh-huh.
Friday we have another club night, very focused on sort of Afrobeats, R&B, hip hop. You
Yeah.
know, trying to touch on to like a different crowd that likes music like that. Saturday we work with partners.
Yes.
So Saturday, every Saturday we have a different partner that comes in, so we can host, you know, Indian DJs. You know, we can host live bands. We can host different kinds of DJs that are maybe upcoming. And then Sunday we have what we're about to launch this Sunday, actually, 4th of Feb. We are going to do something what we're calling Beats and Bazaar. So the beats are dance classes. And just generally music, and we want kids to come in, and we have kids classes at 12 p.m. And then the bazaar is that we'll have a pop-up market every single Sunday
Up here.
downstairs on the street, actually.
Oh, on this.
So you'll be able to do salsa, you'll be able to have brunch, you'll be able to shop a little bit. So it's like an afternoon of sort of relaxation and fun that you can bring your family and your friends.
I like
and
that.
We're trying to create something new,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
I absolutely love it. I think let's
Yeah,
sit
that's
as
awesome.
Yeah.
we wrap this up.
Just before you sit,
Okay.
I just found this chair actually. So this is basically a chair that we designed, and that's basically made from hose pipe. So it's quite comfortable. You can have a seat yourself.
Yeah,
It's comfy.
It really is, yeah. Totally.
yeah.
Ingenious. Like this is the stuff of genius. Let's see. So when it's full over here, people just come sit here, right?
Yeah,
More or
they
less.
sit all over, basically.
Yeah.
There, on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, we were supposed to have another concept in here. It's supposed to be 2 concepts, but we didn't have space for a second one, so we just made it 1 concept.
So what you're saying
basically.
is you're bubbly with ideas. What's the problem?
we still
Is this-
have, we have 1 concept we want
Yeah.
to launch, but
Which is?
it's called Beer and Bones, and you see the logo downstairs. Actually, it's like a sort of barbecue concept, American barbecue slash sort of Kenyan barbecue, with a big focus on craft beer and just having like a plate of brisket and short ribs and like, you know, different type of sides and that American barbecue
Yes.
concept, but obviously with that influence of Kenyan barbecue.
You're
So-
yet to launch that.
Well, we're deciding whether to put it in this building or to take it outside.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, we're still thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it feel like when you look at all of this and then you also imagine the lives you've impacted, you know, the jobs you've created and continue to create, and how you paid forward to the communities that you support? You know, what does that, and I know we spoke about it last week, and you know, and it means a lot to you because Alyssa said that's actually that's the ultimate goal. This is all leading to that. But every day, you know, you go to bed, maybe you're tired or ticked off, about something that didn't go right, right?
Happens often.
Yeah, right? You can't run a business of this magnitude and it doesn't happen.
Sure.
But what brings it all back home for you?
I would say, like, for myself, like, one, I think we're really proud of ourselves to start
You
with.
should be.
And then secondly, I think we're also really grateful to, one, our parents for allowing us as also women of this generation to kind of give us a path to kind of go on. So I think, one, we're really, really grateful for that. Secondly, one of the things that were really important to us when we started was we believe in kind of like the forgotten generation, which I believe is our generation, where you actually look at the workforce and the work industry, and you don't see a lot of young people in the industry. And so NSK was actually created also for the youth, in a sense that majority of the staff working at NSK are actually within the youth bracket, so they're between 18 and 32 years old. And so this becomes sort of like their first or second job. They're able to train in multiple cuisines, in also meeting your chef, for example. When you go and order your food now, it's forcing a chef to have an interaction with with their guest, which would never happen. And so you kind of go through this kind of training process of being at NSK, and then you leave. And so kind of our goal is not to keep you forever. It's actually now come, learn, gain some skill, and then go out into the rest of the world. And that also, we want to create something that at the end of the day, when a Kenyan does go into the rest of the world, there is that standard of Kenyan quality, which exists. And we're already known for that. Kenyans in the hospitality industry all over the world are exceptional.
Yes.
But now it's creating more of them, that when they go out, our reputation just gets better and better and better.
That's awesome. And then, you've also created a space here in Westlands that's really in the heart of Nairobi. So it's like this huge mammoth entertainment spot in the heart of Westlands, in the heart of Nairobi, and young people. I mean, I've been here now 2-3 times, Alyana, so you have no reason to ask me, anymore.
Well, I answered it once, so yeah. I guess I made an impression.
So when you see how you've contributed to the entertainment culture of a city as vibrant as Nairobi, how does that sit in?
No, I think it's great. We've created a platform for people to showcase their talent, basically, and we'll continuously do that. Like I said, we have to continuously be relevant. But there's so much talent, and I said that before, and I think Alyssa highlighted the talent on, the artist side. But in terms of musicians, I mean, singers, DJs, people who play instruments. It's incredible, actually. And I think for us, we want to continuously provide that platform for them to showcase, their talent and help them sort of go from this level and higher. And I think that's super important for us.
I like that.
Yeah,
I really
very
like
important.
that.
And another really important thing is actually also reading the market. I think, as I mentioned before, NSK is this place where it's constantly evolving, in a sense that social is actually one of those things that evolved. It was never supposed to be a club. It was a rooftop lounge bar.
Okay.
But then the Kenyans spoke.
Yes.
And they were like, no.
Yeah.
This is a club. And so therefore it will become a club. And that's what it became. And so we kind of like took that on board and were like, okay, it's going to become a club. Let's turn it into a club. And so it's kind of like adapting in real time to be like, okay, this is what the market wants from us.
Yes.
We don't want to change our ethos. At the same time, we have to now kind of adjust ourselves and modify to say, okay, how can we actually come out on top in this situation?
Yes, and responding to market needs, I think that's what you did.
Exactly.
Okay, so I want you to look into this camera, I think. It's this camera, so each of you. So we'll start with Miss Alyana. So we're driving this to a close. And so I need you to speak to, especially for you young women coming up, and maybe they want to delve into business, reach somewhere stagnant perhaps, they don't know whether to turn left or right, what to do, want to give up.
Well, like I had mentioned earlier on the show, one is that you can't shy away from working hard. I think that's very important. I think, put your effort, put the time into things that you believe in, into your passion. Don't give up. There's going to be situations where it's going to be very difficult to navigate certain situations, work with different kinds of personalities and people. Continuously learn from those situations and better yourselves and, go higher, basically. I mean, I think overall just, don't give up and keep pushing. I mean, life is difficult, obviously more difficult for some rather than others, but that's the hands that, you know, people are dealt, and that's just how it is, and it's unfortunate. But you know, keep pushing forward, and you know, there's always, what do we say? There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and I truly believe that's the case. So yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Miss Alyssa, I want you to speak to those who, you know what happens is when your status in life changes, you find personalities and attitudes change. And yet speaking to the two of you, you've remained grounded and anchored and humble, and you face outward. It's about others. And so just speaking to those people for whom Alyana has encouraged that it's going to change, there'll be light at the end of the tunnel. And then when it changes, then what?
I think the most key thing is don't stop dreaming. You know, like I think keep dreaming. Like the dream is possible, and like I think we're standing in our dream.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows you that it is possible if you work hard and you really give it your all. And I think another important thing is find your passion. And when you do find your passion, don't stop asking questions. I think the more you learn and continuously learn and educate yourself in various different things, kind of become an all-rounder as well, to allow yourself to be put in situations that you may feel uncomfortable in. And I think always try to be uncomfortable. I think the second that you actually become comfortable in a situation is where you stop growing. So always put yourself in uncomfortable situations to allow yourself to grow.
I like that. I really do. And I'm so grateful for the time that you've given us today.
Thanks for your time.
And yesterday, last week. Last week's show. I'm really grateful for that. It was so easy to have this conversation with the both of you, and to just see also the impact, the input that has translated into impact, you know, from your parents just growing up, and even that unity that you have. And I'm grateful you've kept it real. You know, you have kept it real, because it's one thing to paint this picture that it's all glossy and glamorous and but then it's another thing to be that and still acknowledge and give credence to what the journey has been like, which really is the essence of this program. So I'm glad for sharing your story, and in essence the story of your parents, your dogs, your brother, and the story of Nairobi Street Kitchen. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. And to you watching, by the way, actually just to reach them, just come here. You heard Alyana say she's always here. Okay. Just come to Nairobi Street Kitchen. This is not where I tell you, oh, this is their email address or whatever. First, they're on Instagram. I just followed Alyssa on Instagram because I need to check out something. But just come here to Nairobi Street Kitchen. This is what road?
Mutiti Road and Mpaka Road.
Okay.
Sorry, Mpaka Road and Westlands Road.
Mpaka Road,
Mpaka Road, Westlands, but you can't miss it. Just ask anyone
Just
what I
Google
do
it.
when I go anywhere. Iko happy, and then they look at you like, are you playing? But just come here, look for, they're here, they're present, and you heard them say they value just being accessible and available. So just come, and if you need any sort of inspiration, if you have questions as an aspiring entrepreneur, as a young woman coming up in whichever space that is, you have watched them for yourself. If you missed any episode, the shows are up on YouTube after this, and a repeat Sunday at 2 p.m. From us here on What's Your Story, you know I'm going back to my Baba who someone. What was the name of that taco that you ordered?
Lamb barbacoa.
I'm going back there after this. But we say good night and take care of yourselves.